Many people are following a very low carb diet, which known as a ketogenic diet, for their own reasons. Some of them seeks for developing their own health, while the others trying to decrease or maybe treat some of the symptoms of other diseases. As we know, a ketogenic diet is a very high fat intake diet, which makes new followers of this diet might often suffer from a cardiovascular problem or a poor lipid profile as a result of poor knowledge about what to take from the fat. And today's controversy is, what is the optimal intake of saturated and monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fatty acids while we are following a ketogenic diet? So first of all, we want to understand what is a ketogenic diet. A ketogenic diet, it's a diet which uses the fat as the major source of energy in the body, which makes the ketones instead of glucose, which gives us a hint that the carbohydrates is really low in this kind of diet, which ranges from 5 to 10% only, while the moderation intake of protein ranges from 20 to 30% of the total intake, while it gives us a huge amount of the fat intake through all the day in the range between 60 to 70%. And with that being said, what is really the optimal amount of saturated, unsaturated with mono and the polyunsaturated fatty acids should be taken through all the day? So first is the saturated fatty acids, a type of fatty acids that has no double bond and it's usually solid in room temperature. And it's always been a link between the over intake of this type and the cardiovascular health, which makes the American Heart Association recommend to take between 5 to 7% from this type with the people that follows a regular diet, while no more than 10% for the people who follows any special diet. Then we have the monounsaturated fatty acids, a type of fatty acid that has only one double bond and it's usually found liquid in the room temperature. The monounsaturated fatty acids has an important role in our diet by reducing the heart problems, risks, and the stroke. So there is no specific recommendations for the monounsaturated fatty acids, but it is always recommended that it is not exceeded the 30% of the total fatty acid intake through all over the day. That leads us to the last family of the fatty acids, which is the polyunsaturated fatty acids. The polyunsaturated fatty acid has more than one double bond, and it's always being found liquid in the room temperature. It is really important for our diet to consume the polyunsaturated fatty acids for its role for our immunity and for our cells in the body to maintain them healthy and developed. And the problem here that the people tend to take a lot of the omega-6 and forget the omega-3, which is really important to maintain our lipid profile in the healthy range. And we always have to remember that there is always a ratio between an omega-6 and an omega-3. And the recommendations here that is not exceeded 4:1 ratio of omega-3 to omega-6. And the closer the gap, the higher the benefit. We can find the omega-3 in many certain foods, and the food rich of omega-3 are the walnuts, the sardines, salmon, and the egg yolk. Last but not least, the health benefits of long and short term is guaranteed, starting with the weight loss and increasing the duration and the intensity of the exercise, and also a good control for the blood glucose for diabetic patients, which also improve our heart and brain. And after all of these, you're always gonna have a better mood. My last comment is, if we don't know the specific amount to get the benefit, we can take the amount that gets us away from trouble. Thank you so much.